This is the Louie T Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the continued coverage of the 2018 NFL playoffs here on the Louie T Network. I, of course, am your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me on this program as we preview and predict the AFC Championship game. Number 3 seeded Jacksonville Jaguars, fresh off of the huge 45-42 upset on the road of the Pittsburgh Steelers, taking on the number 1 seeded New England Patriots, 7th straight AFC Championship appearance. Unprecedented dominance exuded by this New England Patriots ball club as they look to defend the turf once more and head to yet another Super Bowl under the leadership of the B&B winning factory known as Brady and Belichick. So, how did these two teams get here? We start with the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was a great season for a Jaguars team that had seen them struggle over the last decade. Since 2000 and I want to say 8, the Jaguars have picked in the top 10 of the NFL draft, with many of those picks being inside of the top 5, which speaks to the ineptitude of this franchise over the last decade. But they made some moves. They've been making some great moves in the draft, some excellent moves in free agency 2 years ago, getting a guy that has played outstanding football for them from the Denver Broncos along their defensive line, and then doubling down on the defensive line and getting Calais Campbell and A.J. Boye at the cornerback position. Those 3 free agents, huge in this resurgence with all the young talent that they've accumulated and amassed over the last 3 years. They put themselves in a position to turn this thing around. They also drafted Leonard Fournette, and all of a sudden you had the makings of a team that could play defense, run the football, and protect Blake Bortles. And that's exactly what they did, all the way to a 10-6 record throughout the regular season, allowing them to win the AFC South Division. They won in Wild Card Weekend over the Buffalo Bills, 10-3. In a really good defensive struggle in which they were able to win that game and advance. Blake Bortles wasn't his sharpest, but it was enough to win, especially with his legs in that game. Then you turn around the following week off of that performance where they were only able to muster 10 at home. Most people thought that they were going to get smoked by the Steelers, a rematch of a Week 5 matchup in which the Jaguars destroyed the Steelers 30-9 in Pittsburgh, forcing 5 interceptions of Ben Roethlisberger, 2 of which going to the crib. Everyone assumed Jacksonville would go down and Pittsburgh and New England, including myself, would be in the AFC Championship game once again. That was so wrong, and that couldn't have been further from the truth. The Jags, from the start of that game, were ready, willing, and able to take it to the Pittsburgh Steelers, getting an early 21-0 lead and never relinquishing that lead. They never trailed in the game. It was a wire-to-wire finish for this Jaguar team in terms of leading that game as they were able to get the job done. Fournette over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns in the game. Blake Bortles, a phenomenal game that he played. The numbers don't necessarily bear that out, but no turnovers. In every big throw that was necessary and required of Bortles, he made it, especially in the second half of this game. And he used his legs when necessary, and he was outstanding. The defense didn't sound like they were great, but they were better than what you would have thought looking at the stats. Over 500 yards given up, 42 points on the scoreboard for the Steelers. This defense had a lot to do with the victory over the Steelers as they advance to the AFC Championship game. You move on to the Patriots. It didn't look the same for the vast majority of this season, but at the end of the day, the results remained the same. Patriots number 1 seed, 13-3 overall record in the regular season. and the first round bye. They come off of the bye, destroy the Tennessee Titans 35-14, and pretty much put themselves in a position at home, 7th straight AFC championship game, to once again rewrite the history books. A little bit of controversy heading into that first playoff game with the whole Belichick, Brady, and Kraft situation and all of them not being on the same page, and Brady helping facilitate the trade of Jimmy Garoppolo, yada, yada, yada. All of that can be put to rest by simply doing one thing: winning. And that's what the Patriots do best. So here we are again, AFC Championship game, and it's being hosted by none other than the New England Patriots, once again, favorites to move on to the Super Bowl once again, where they'll probably be favorites there as well if they can get by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So let's talk about this game, and I want to start with the road team in this ball game, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and what they have to do to get the victory. And the first thing that they need to do is shut their mouth, okay? Now, I love Jalen Ramsey. I love his bravado. I love his arrogance. It's a part of who he is. It's a part of his DNA. It's a part of his game, all right? Some guys play better when they talk trash. It's just what they need to motivate them. But this isn't necessarily the time for that. Now, again, they've never been here before. If you look down at the bottom, last Super Bowl appearance for the Jacksonville Jaguars, there aren't any. They've never been to the Super Bowl in their franchise's history. Now, they've been to an AFC championship game before. They've been to the divisional round plenty of times, and this is going back to the Coughlin days, but they've never been here before with a chance to go to the Super Bowl with this dominant of a defense, okay? They've had some good defenses with Stroud and what was the guy that used to beat himself up? Henderson. They've had some dominant defenses before, all right? But not like this. This is totally different because they legitimately have a shot to win. Now, those offenses on those teams were better than this offense, but it doesn't matter. Their defense is so good that if they get into this game and we get into the fourth quarter and they're in this game, they've got a realistic shot. And so let's start with the Jaguars and their defense, because, again, if they're going to survive and advance and pull the improbable, the unthinkable for the second week in a row, it's going to take a Herculean effort defensively, not like the one last week. And they were good. I told you, last week was the best, worst performance I've ever seen in my life from a defense. All right? You give up 42 points. You give up over 500 yards of total offense. You give up a couple of bombs deep, 2 of which were on 4th down. And there's some problems. But you couldn't have defended some of those plays any better. The 2 touchdowns given up by A.J. Boye to Antonio Brown, you can't defend those passes any better. Those are perfect throws and even better catches by Antonio Brown. The only one that was frustrating was the deep one to Martavis Bryant on a 4th down right before the half. That's the inexcusable one. You can't let someone get behind you. That was too easy on a 4th down and long in a desperation situation. Game was over. You get that stop, this game is done. Instead, you give up the deep ball there. But you force 2 4th and inches, essentially, stops. You created 2 turnovers that led to 14 Jaguar points. One directly, a scoop and score by Telvin Smith that went for a touchdown. The other interception by Miles Jack set up a touchdown on the very next play, a Leonard Fournette touchdown run of about 17 yards or so. So the defense, for as bad as they were, damn, they were still good. This week, you can't have those issues, though. You can't have those hiccups. You can't give up deep balls. And I don't think the Patriots possess a receiver capable of doing what Antonio Brown did last week. There aren't many of those guys in the league. Okay, as a matter of fact, there's only one, A.B. So, and the Patriots don't have anybody remotely close to his skill set. So you don't have to worry about that caliber of receiver this week. But what you do have to worry about is Gronk. Okay, what you do have to worry about is a Patriots run game that has been really good of late. And newsflash, Jaguars haven't done the best job of stopping the run this postseason. And they've been okay during the regular season. You can run on Jacksonville's defense. We've seen that throughout this. Shady McCoy, on one leg, had a hell of a game rushing the football versus this Jaguars defense. Fast forward to the following week. Le'Veon Bell ran the football very effectively versus this Jaguars defense. The only thing that stopped him from getting more touches was the fact that the Steelers were down big early. They were down 21-0 before they had a chance to even settle into their seats at Heinz Field. They were down 28-7 deep into the second quarter. They didn't have a chance to run the football as much as they would have liked. But he had success. On the limited amount of carries he had success. You can run on this Jags defense. For as good as they are up front, you can run the football on them. So if you're Jacksonville, that has to be improved this week because, again, you're not going to hear me say this often, but the blueprint is there. In order to beat the Patriots, going to have to make them one-dimensional. And it's crazy to say this, but you're going to have to make Tom Brady beat you. And you're going to want Tom Brady to be a sitting duck in the pocket. You don't want Tom Brady in 3rd and 4 because the Patriots are masters at converting 3rd and manageable. Look at what they did to the Titans last week on 3rd downs. It's ridiculous. They had 30 first downs in that game. Think about that for a second. 30 first, that's 2 weeks of first downs for some teams. 3 weeks for some teams in this league. They had it in one playoff game last week. You know why? They lived in 3rd and manageable last week against the Titans. You can't live that way against the Patriots and expect to survive. You can't. You're going to die a slow, long death against the Patriots because Brady is going to go 13, 14, 12, 14 on you. Play drives that end in touchdowns. Slow, methodical death by Brady if you don't put them in some 3rd and long situations. And it's going to come by stopping the run, by on 1st and 2nd downs, taking away those quick underneath passes that the Patriots love to employ with Brady to get into those 3rd and 3s, those 3rd and 4s, those 3rd and 2s that Brady is so masterful at picking up and getting a fresh set of downs on. So, to me, the Jaguars have to be better against the run. They haven't been great in this postseason against the run at all. As a matter of fact, I've been very disappointed with their run game, their run defense. That's been the one thing on defense that has not been as impressive. Everything else has been lights out for the most part. The pass defense, even though they gave it up last week, you're not going to play against a better pass offense than the one you saw last week. And again, you still made plays defensively against that passed offense. Bottom line is, got to be better against the run, but the blueprint is out there. I said this already. The blueprint's out there, okay? The blueprint for beating the Patriots, this isn't a secret. This isn't something that isn't common knowledge. This is known by everybody. You're going to hear everybody regurgitate the same fact that if you want to beat the Patriots, you got to get to Tom Brady. You got to hit Tom Brady. You got to get him off his spot. And this Tom Brady is unlike past versions of Tom Brady. This Tom Brady is much easier to rattle. Okay, Brian Orakpo barely got pressure on Brady on the first possession of the game last week against the Titans. And Brady grounded the football 10 yards down the field to a receiver coming out of his break. Brady wasn't even close. Ball skipped to the receiver, went out of bounds. Pressure. Scared. Brady he's 40. He don't want to get hit anymore. Okay? This isn't the same Brady that we saw get his ass whooped versus the Denver Broncos in the 2015 playoffs. Withstand the ass whooping, drive his team down the field, and came within a 2-point conversion of tying that game up and sending it to overtime because their field goal kicker couldn't make an extra point, which forced them to have to go for 2. Brady got his ass whooped in that game, but he persevered and hung in there and almost stole the victory. That's not the same Tom Brady. You fast forward to 2018, and Tom Brady is a different man. He doesn't want to get hit. He's not the same. He's dealing with a number of injuries. He just missed practice because he jammed his wrist and in practice with a player running into him. He's going to be fine. He's going to play. It's not a big deal, but still, he's not the same Tom Brady. He's missed practice this season due to some injuries. He's had a lingering injury with his leg. He's a guy that doesn't want to be hit. We know this. This is a fact. throughout this 7-year run to the AFC Championship game, consecutive years in the AFC, they've only lost out a few times. Okay? They've only lost out a few times. The Ravens in 2012, what did they do? They hit Brady. They got to Brady. It's not a secret. The Broncos in 2015, they hit Brady. They got to Brady. It's not a secret. You got to get to Brady. One of the teams that has had some of the best success, even though they don't beat the Patriots, they've had some of the best success against them, is the Houston Texans. You know why? They hit Brady. That's the key to the game, to be honest with you. Yeah, stopping and run is great. It's required because we've seen the Patriots morph into a rush offense if need be. They'll hand it off 37 times in a game if they know you can't stop the run. And they know that this Jaguars team is built to stop the pass. They'll turn around and hand it off to Dion, a combination of Lewis, and it doesn't matter who's healthy, whether it's Dion Lewis and James White with a smatter and sprinkle of Rex Burkhead if he's healthy, or Mike Gillislee if he's healthy. If those two are still out, then they'll just insert Bolden, and it'll be a three-headed attack there, and they'll just pound it down your throat if you can't stop the run. So yes, you have to stop the run, but at the end of the day, the Patriots live and die on the right arm of Tom Brady. You've got to get to Brady. You've got to get him off the spot. And I'd be willing to take a 15-yard penalty early in this game to hit Brady, hit him hard, and let him know, I'm going to be here all day, boy. You better be ready. You better strap up that goddamn helmet because we're going to light your ass up tonight. I'd be willing to take one of those on the first possession of the game, second possession of the game, just to let Brady know we're going to be here. And you got to continue to hit him. The Falcons up 28-3. You know how they got that lead? They hit Brady. They pressured Brady, made him uncomfortable. He threw a pick six. But they didn't continue to pressure him. They ran out of gas. And when they did, that was their ass. You got to start the game with pressure on Brady. You've got to continue throughout with pressure on Brady. You've got to finish the game with pressure on Brady. It's going to take a lot, but this Jaguars defense is more than capable. Jalen Ramsey and company, they're going to have their work cut out for you. If I were the Jaguars defensively, I'd take Ramsey, and wherever Gronk goes, that's where Jalen Ramsey would go. And I'd use Boye on Cooks, and all those other receivers, have at it. Okay, Amendola, try your hand with Colvin and Hogan, whomever you get. If that's who's going to tear us a new asshole, so be it. But it won't be Gronk. It won't be Cooks. Won't be any of those guys. Okay? It'll be the other secondary, ancillary guys that get me. But it won't be Gronk. It won't be Cooks. It'll have to be somebody else. And Edelman's not there, so I'd love to see Amendola do what he did last week. I'd love to see somebody else get me, but it won't be Gronk if I'm the Jaguars, and it won't be Cooks. That's for damn sure. So we're going to see. But Jalen Ramsey's already put his foot in his mouth. Now he's going to have to back it up. He said, we're going to the Super Bowl, we're going to win that bitch. Okay. You say so. Can't win the Super Bowl if you don't get there. This is a tall task in front of you. And Tom Brady, Tom TBE in the New England Patriots. Offensively for the Jaguars, it's really simple. It's not a lot to this. Don't turn it over, 1. 2, run the football. Fournette injured his ankle. We know that last week. Been limited in practice this week. He's going to play again. It's playoff time. This isn't the time for anybody to miss games. But how effective is he going to be? We're going to see. They need him. They need a 100-yard performance, 2 touchdowns out of him. They need Blake Bortles. Look, I don't expect Blake Bortles to play as well as he did last week. I just don't. I thought the Steelers defensively allowed him to make some plays on some checkdowns where there was way too much space. I just don't see those types of breakdowns with this Patriots defense. Even though I don't think this is a great Patriots defense, don't get me wrong. I just don't see those types of opportunities presenting themselves. Blake's got to use his legs, okay? Blake's got to use his legs. He can't afford the back-breaking mistake. He's got to take care of the football. You've got to run it with Fournette. And much like last week versus the Steelers, you've got to stay in third and manageable. That's what's going to save your ass, like it did last week. Blake can complete a 4-yard pass on 3rd and 3. Blake can complete a 5-yard pass on 3rd and 4. What you don't want Blake having to do is complete an 11-yard pass on 3rd and 9. That's where he can get into trouble. Keep the down and distance manageable, and you're going to have a shot to convert 3rd downs and win this football game. If you don't, and you have some turnovers, and Fournette can't run it as well, we saw what happened against the Bills. The Bills shut down Leonard Fournette. They forced Blake Bortles to beat them. He couldn't do it, but he did it with his legs. They came out victorious. These aren't the Bills, though. Okay? They're not going to score 3 points, are the Patriots. It's more like 33. So unless you can get to Brady, keep the score down, run the football, and keep this thing close, you're in trouble. And so Blake Bortles has got to stay clean. And by staying clean, I mean can't turn it over. Blake Bortles has got to use his legs. That's got to be a part of the offense. I don't care. I would love to see a couple of called read options where he keeps it. Okay? That's got to be in the game plan. But when the play breaks down on 3rd and 7, they're in man-to-man, take off and pick up 9 with your legs. That's got to be a part of his thought process in this game. And Yeldon was huge. Remember I said 2 weeks ago, TJ Yeldon needed to be a big part of the offense. Well, he wasn't in the game against Buffalo because he wasn't even active. I said, what are you doing? You need a real 3rd down back. What did they do? Activate TJ Yeldon and sit down Chris Ivory. And what happens? TJ Yeldon, huge part of that game last week. He's got to be a huge part of this game again this week. The screen game. It's got to be a part of the offense. I'd like to see Jacksonville get Yeldon the football out of the backfield. Those backs are going to have to be huge in this game, along with Blake Bortles using his legs. Those guys are going to have to be huge if the Jaguars are going to have any shot of pulling the upset on the road versus the New England Patriots. If you're going to go after somebody, and this is my last tidbit, you're going to go after somebody on that Patriots defense, Malcolm Butler is the guy you want to baptize. That's the guy everybody's been going after this season. That's the guy that everybody's been having success against. Stay away from Stephon Gilmore. Stay away from McCourty. Stay away from Patrick Chung. Go after Malcolm Butler. That being said, Patriots side of things. Let's start with the defense because we pretty much know what the offense is about. But let's talk about this defense because they've been so much better of late. And the turnaround has been drastic. But I still think that this defense has a ton of holes in it. And you can take advantage of this Patriots defense in a number of ways. The first priority for really the biggest priority in this game is stopping the run because so much of what Jacksonville does is predicated off the run. Keeping Blake Bortles clean because of the run. Keeping third down and distances manageable because of the run. Flipping the field position because of the run. Scoring points because of the run. Everything they do, that deep shot to Keelan Cole, why did it work? Because of the run. Everything that they do, that last touchdown to Tommy Bohannon, why did that work? Because of the run, okay? Everything the Jaguars do is based off of the run. The foundation of their offense is the run. You stop that, you stop the Jaguars from having any success in this game. All right? We know Blake Bortles isn't a world beater. We know Blake Bortles is prone to making mistakes if you apply pressure, and that's nice. I don't think you can apply pressure. Those sacks that you got last week, would you have like 7 or 8 sacks? Like 4 or 5 different guys getting to the quarterback? That was great. That was an awesome display getting to the quarterback last week. But that's not what this Patriots team is. And I don't expect you to do that to the Jaguars next week. They kept him relatively clean versus Pittsburgh. I expect them to do the same thing versus your front because you don't have an elite dynamic pass rusher. So I expect them to keep Blake Bortles clean. The thing is, you put them in 3rd and 9, it doesn't matter how clean he is. You've got the guys that can cover. So to me, the key is stop the run. They want to run it on 1st and 2nd down. Okay? And then they want to check it down to Yeldon on 3rd down. Or they want to hit D.D. Westbrook for a 3-yard gain and move the sticks. Or they want to hit Allen Hurns on a 4-yard crosser and move the sticks. They don't want to do anything explosive. They're just looking to survive on offense. Well, the way that they survive is via the run. You stop the run, you kill the body, the head will die. Normally it's you kill the head, the body will die. No, you kill the body because the brain of this offense, the operation of this offense is the defense. The rest of the body is the run game. You kill the run game, and now you're asking the brain, the defense, to survive on its own. And they might be able to. They might be able to. But with the Jaguars, they want to run it. You got to take it away. Take away the run game. Take away the run game. That'll allow you access to Blake Bortles on 3rd and long. Now, how you choose to go about that blitzing, I wouldn't advise blitzing. Why? Why give him an easy out? Someone wins on a slant, he hits him right away, yards after catch. It's unnecessary. The way to hurt quarterbacks that struggle with accuracy, like Blake Bortles does, because his footwork is horrendous, his mechanics are among the worst in the league, you put as many guys in coverage as possible and force him to throw in the tight windows. Dare him to. Because he's going to airmail one. He's going to be airing on 1 or 2 passes. And the more guys you have in coverage, the more likely it is someone will be in a spot to pick it off. So the key is always get pressure, but try to drop as many guys into coverage as you possibly can. Disguise what you're doing. Don't give him any tells. The Patriots are one of the best teams in the league, one of the smartest teams in the league. They'll make it look like man-to-man pre-snap. You send a guy in motion, they'll have a guy go in motion with him. And then after you snap the ball, they're in zone coverage. Quarterback completely baffled. Thought they knew it was man-to-man pre-snap. They get something else. So you may get man-to-man on one side of the field and zone on the other side. It happens. So take away the run, which will give you access to Blake Bortles in some 3rd and long situations. I like your chances if you can do that. Offensively, look, the key to the game, you got 1A and 1B. To me, I'd start the game out by trying to run the football on Jacksonville. I'd make Malik Jackson and Calais Campbell and Jones, and Marcel Darius, and all of those guys prove to me that they can stop the run. And I wouldn't run up the middle. I wouldn't run to the outside either. I'd run off tackle. I'm trying to isolate these ends. Ngakoue, but specifically Dante Fowler Jr., who is light in the pants. I'm looking to isolate those guys off tackle. I'm not looking to run away from those guys. They're too fast and athletic on the backside. The Steelers found that out on a 4th down trying to run outside against a fast and physical defense. It's not going to happen. They're too athletic. They flow to the football too well. So I'm not asking you to run to the outside. I'm asking you to run off tackle. Isolate their defensive ends. If you can find a way to seal off that defensive tackle and isolate that defensive end, you can run it on Jacksonville. I've seen it done this postseason. So run game is 1A. Because maybe you don't have to have Brady drop back 40 times. The most ideal thing is for Brady to throw it 28 times in this game. And you run it 32 times. If Brady throws it 44 times in this game, most likely you were in a dogfight and you might lose and Brady's going to get his ass busted up in this game. You may win the game ultimately, but Brady's going to feel it. So the best way to keep Brady clean is to run it. That's 1A. 1B, protect Tom Brady. When you got to throw it, you can't allow and Calais Campbell has been damn near unblockable this postseason. Damn near unblockable. I don't love your tackles. You've got one of your offensive linemen who's dealing with an injury. Again, everybody's going to play. Nobody's sitting out these big games. But I don't love your tackles. And I think pure speed off the edge can beat them. And this isn't like the Brian O'Rack post speed you saw last week, where it's fast enough to beat them off the snap, but it's not fast enough to clear the edge and they can recover and push them around and allow Brady to step up in the pocket. This is a different type of speed. This is like Brian Orakpo has like 94, 95 mile an hour fastball speed. And if you've got a fast enough bat, you can catch up to that. Straighten it out. We dealing with dudes that's throwing straight cheese. Like just easy gas off the edge. Ngakwe he's pumping 99 consistently down the strike zone with movement. And on the other side, Fowler Jr., same thing. Same thing. And if they get to the quarterback, they're not looking to just get to the quarterback. They're looking to get the football out. That's what makes this Jaguars defense so ferocious. Is not only are they looking to get to your quarterback and bang him up pretty good, they're looking to get the football out. Calais Campbell has been winning on the inside, so there's nowhere for Brady to step up. So if that pocket is collapsing on the edges and Brady's looking to step up between Jackson and Campbell on the inside, there's nowhere for him to go. So you've got to protect Brady, and the best way to do that is to run it. Put yourself in some third and short situations, which will allow Brady to get the football out of his hands quickly. The longer he has to hold it, the more likely it is he gets ravaged in this game. But at the end of the day, it's all about matchups if you're the Patriots. You're looking to isolate one-on-one matchups. Again, if I'm the Jags, I'm trying to take Gronk and Cooks out of the game. But the Patriots say, fine, if you want to do that, we've got other guys. We've got Hogan, all right? We've got Amendola. We've got the backside of the backfield, who I think are going to have a huge say in the matter because Le'Veon Bell had a huge catch last week. And again, that was some tremendous coverage, okay? You can't play that route any better up the sideline. It was just a tremendous throw and catch. But nonetheless, James White is going to be huge out of the backfield. I think Deion Lewis could be a huge X factor out of the backfield. And a guy that I think could be an unsung hero in this game, potentially, is someone that you don't hear about a lot of because you don't need him very often. But Dwayne Allen, the guy you traded for in the offseason, that second tight end, that could be a guy that could step up and make some plays in this game. He's going to have some opportunities, I think. So in any event, if you're the Patriots, spread the wealth like you normally do. I want to see what the Jaguars decide to do, and if they decide to try to take Gronk out of the game. They may feel confident in their linebackers' ability to run with Gronk. I'd like to see them just pull a Bill Belichick. I remember once upon a time they were playing against the Saints, and he said, Revis, you're on Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham was gone. He's out of the game. And force somebody else to beat you. And I think Cooks might have tried to do him in that game, and that's part of the reason he's on their team right now. But nonetheless, make somebody else beat you. But we're going to see what they decide to do. But special teams may be a huge factor. Jags blocked the punt last week. Okay? Steven Gostkowski, if I'm not mistaken, missed the field goal right before the half. You're going to need some plays. You're going to need some help. Maybe you get Gostkowski to miss another field goal. Maybe you're able to block a punt. You could use something. A turnover, something. You're going to need something if you're Jacksonville to turn the tide of this game. This is how I see it going down. This score is 19-17 heading into the fourth quarter. Jacksonville is right there, trailing by just 2. And in the fourth quarter, in winning time, they're not going to know how to get it done. And this is where the Patriots separate themselves with 10 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to win this thing 29-17. Jags are going to be right there. They can get pressure on Brady. I know they're going to be in this game. They're not going to give up as many points as they gave up last week. This offense that they're playing against is nowhere near as explosive as the Steelers. I expect them to be in this game. But at the end of the day, the pedigree, the moxie, the officials, all of that will be too much to overcome. How many games have we watched the Patriots play in where the officiating is just horrendous and one-sided, favoring the Patriots? Hell, the game last week versus the Titans was a joke in the first half. A joke. That pass interference on Eric Decker, a joke. At 7-7 with the Titans having momentum, they took it all away. 18-yard gain to Decker. They moved the sticks. They've got momentum. They take it away on a bad OPI call. Change the damn game. That offsides penalty on a 4th down, that was on the Patriots. They called it on the Titans. Again, Officiating is always that 1 second, that phantom 1 second at the end of the half. It didn't cost him because Gostowski, and that was the football gods, righting or wrong. He missed the kick heading into halftime. But again, the officiating was so bad. And we've seen this in Patriots games. It's becoming ridiculous now. You're going to have to beat the officials. You're going to have to beat the Patriots. You're going to have to beat inexperience. There's so many things that the Jaguars have to overcome in this game. But if they want to win, they got to get to Brady. That is the overarching theme. That's the blueprint. It's been set. 2012 Ravens, 2007 Giants, 2011 Giants, 2015 Broncos. The blueprint has been set. It's out there. It's common knowledge. You want to beat the Patriots. You want to reduce the amount of points that they score. You want to give yourself the best shot to win versus the Patriots. Get to Tom Brady. And this is scared Tom Brady. This isn't Tom Brady from 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago that could take an ass whooping and keep on ticking. This Tom Brady is scared. He does not want to be hit. We saw it last year versus the Texans in the playoffs where he was absolutely horrible. I saw a glimpse of it against the Titans early in that game. A rat poke coming around the edge on the first third down of the game and Brady grounding the football. Scared. Didn't even get touched. Scared. Just the thought of pressure. You get to Brady early, you get to Brady often, you got a shot. That's my breakdown, folks. That's my prediction. What's yours? I need it in the comment section. Who's winning the game and why? Score and more. Who's winning? What's the score and why? I need it in the comment section of this video. Give it to me. I can't wait to read it. I want to know who you think is advancing to Super Bowl 52. The Jags with this young, hungry, stingy D, or the wily veteran Patriots who all they do is win, win, win no matter what. Who'll get it done? You have mine. What's yours? If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content in 2018 and beyond. We're changing the game. I want you to help us do that by hitting the subscribe button. And you know where to find me at the conclusion of this game here on the Louie T Network, live, breaking it all down, chopping it up with you guys. You know where to find me, so come back and join me. I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. Leave it in the comment section. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.